The discovery, the message came on a Tuesday morning, not through official channels, not through diplomatic frequencies. It simply appeared on every screen, every device, every communication system humanity owned. The voice was cold, ancient, powerful. Bow before the eternal ones. We are your creators. We are your gods. Then silence. In the command center of Earth's defense station, alarms screamed. Officers ran between stations, their faces pale with confusion and fear. Admiral Rodriguez stared at the main screen, his coffee forgotten in his hand. "Where did it come from?" he demanded. A young technician barely out of academy looked up with trembling hands. "Everywhere, sir. And nowhere. It just appeared." The message played again and again, repeating across the solar system, across human colonies on Mars, on the mining stations near Jupiter, even on the distant research outpost at the edge of the system. Everyone heard it. Within hours, panic spread like wildfire. The news networks exploded with theories. Religious leaders claimed the end times had arrived. Scientists argued over alien technology. Parents held their children close, wondering what this meant for humanity's future. But the message was not finished. 3 days later, a second transmission arrived. This time there were images, massive ships, hundreds of them, each one the size of a city, floating in the darkness of space like sleeping giants. Their hulls were black and silver, covered in symbols that hurt to look at. They seemed to bend light itself, making them appear both solid and dreamlike at the same time. And at the center of the fleet, a structure that defied understanding. It looked like a palace made of stars, floating in the void, pulsing with energy that seemed alive. The voice returned. "We are the Crithians. For 10,000 years we have ruled the stars. 47 species bow before us. 47 worlds call us masters. We ended their wars. We brought them peace. We gave them purpose." The images shifted. Alien cities appeared on the screens. Beautiful, perfect, but empty of joy. The creatures walking the streets moved like puppets, their eyes hollow. "Now we come to you, humans. You are young, weak, ignorant of the true order of the galaxy. But we are merciful. Surrender your weapons. Surrender your governments. Surrender your will. In return, we offer you protection. We offer you a place in our eternal empire." A pause. "Long and heavy. You have 7 days to decide. Choose wisely. Those who resist us cease to exist." The transmission ended. Earth's council met in emergency session. World leaders, military commanders, scientists, philosophers. They gathered in a bunker deep beneath Geneva, their faces lit by the blue glow of screens. The room erupted in arguments. "We have no choice," said Chancellor Zhao, her voice tight with fear. "Did you see those ships? That technology is centuries ahead of ours. Maybe millennia. If we fight, we die. If we surrender, we become slaves." General Okonkwo shot back. He was a tall man with scars from the colony wars, his jaw set like stone. "I did not spend 30 years defending human freedom to hand it over to aliens playing God." "Playing God?" Ambassador Patel stood, his eyes wide. "What if they are telling the truth? What if they really did create us? How do we fight our creators?" "With fire," the general said simply. The arguments went on for hours, days. The clock ticked down. 5 days left. 4 days, 3. Then an old woman stood up. Captain Sarah Chen's grandmother, Admiral Chen Wei. She had served in the first contact missions, back when humanity barely understood faster than light travel. Her hair was silver, her back bent with age, but her eyes were sharp as broken glass. "I have a question," she said quietly. The room fell silent. "Why did they warn us?" "What?" Chancellor Zhao blinked. "Gods do not send warnings," Admiral Chen continued, walking slowly to the center of the room. "Gods do not give ultimatums. Gods do not negotiate. They simply act. But bullies always threaten first. They want you afraid before they even touch you." She turned, looking at each face in the room. "These Crithians claim to be gods. But gods do not need 47 species to bow. Gods do not need fleets of warships. Gods do not need 7 days. They are hiding something, and I want to know what." General Okonkwo leaned forward. "What are you suggesting, Admiral?" The old woman smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Send a ship. One ship, not to attack, not to surrender, but to learn the truth. Send someone to look these so-called gods in the eye. If they truly are divine, we will know. We will accept our fate." She paused, her voice dropping to a whisper that somehow filled the entire room. "But if they are not, if they bleed like we do, then the galaxy deserves to know. Every species they have conquered deserves to know. The lie must end." The vote was close. 18 for 17 against. Humanity would send one ship into the darkness. Its name would be the Defiance. Its mission, discover if gods can bleed. Captain Sarah Chen, granddaughter of the Admiral, volunteered immediately. She was young, only 32, with short black hair and eyes that burned with curiosity rather than fear. "When do we leave?" she asked. "Tomorrow," the Admiral said, "before we lose our courage." That night, Sarah stood in the observation deck of Earth's orbital station. She looked out at the stars, at the vast darkness between them. Somewhere out there the Crithians waited. Somewhere out there the truth was hiding. She pressed her hand against the cold glass. "Let's find out what you really are," she whispered to the stars. Behind her, the ship prepared for launch. The Defiance, humanity's question mark sent into the void. 7 days became 6. The journey was about to begin. The journey previously. Humanity received a message from aliens calling themselves gods. The Crithians demanded surrender. Earth sent one ship, the Defiance, to discover the truth. Captain Sarah Chen and her crew began their journey into the unknown. The Defiance cut through space like a silver needle threading through black fabric. 6 weeks had passed since leaving Earth. 6 weeks of silence. 6 weeks of wondering if they were flying toward answers or toward their graves. Captain Sarah Chen sat in her command chair, watching the stars drift by on the main screen. Her crew worked quietly around her. They were small, only 12 people, but they were the best humanity had. "Captain," a voice called from the navigation station. "We are approaching the first marker." Sarah sat up straighter. The first marker was what they called the Dead Worlds. Planets that had refused the Crithians. Planets that no longer existed as anything but warnings. "Take us in slowly," Sarah ordered. "Full scans. I want to know everything." The ship descended toward a gray planet. Once it had been green. Once it had been home to a species called the Villani. The record said they were artists, poets. They built cities of crystal that sang in the wind. Now there was only dust. Marcus Torres, the chief engineer, stood beside Sarah's chair. He was a big man with gentle eyes that had seen too much pain. The Crithians had destroyed the colony where his family lived, not with weapons, just with a message: "You are not worthy." Then blockades, starvation, silence. He survived. They did not. "Scan complete," said Lieutenant Park from the science station. "No life signs, no radiation signatures, no evidence of orbital bombardment." "Then how did they die?" Sarah asked quietly. "I don't know, Captain. It is like something just turned them off." A chill ran down Sarah's spine. Weapons she understood. Bombs, lasers, missiles. Those were tools of war. But this was something else. Something that did not just destroy bodies. It destroyed existence itself. "Move on," she ordered. Next coordinates. They visited 4 more dead worlds. Each one told the same story. Beautiful civilizations, advanced cultures, all gone. Not destroyed. Erased. Like someone had reached into reality and deleted them from the universe. But on the 5th world, they found something different. Dr. Yuki Tanaka was examining ruins on the surface. She was small, barely 5 feet tall, with silver hair tied back in a tight bun. She had spent 20 years studying ancient languages, dead languages, languages from species that existed before humans even discovered fire. "Captain," her voice crackled over the radio, "you need to see this." Sarah took a shuttle down with Marcus. They found Dr. Yuki standing in front of a massive stone wall. It was covered in symbols, but they were wrong. The style did not match Crithian writing. The age did not match the timeline. "This was here before the Crithians came," Dr. Yuki said, her fingers tracing the symbols. "Centuries before, maybe thousands of years. What does it say?" Marcus asked. Dr. Yuki was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. "They are not creators. They are thieves. They are shadows wearing crowns of stolen light. Do not bow. Do not believe. They are not gods. They are... She stopped. They are what? Sarah pressed. Afraid, Dr. Yuki finished. The last word is afraid. The Crithians are afraid. Sarah felt something click in her mind. A piece of a puzzle she did not know she was solving. Afraid of what? The inscription does not say. It just repeats, they are afraid, they are afraid, they are afraid. They returned to the Defiance with more questions than answers. Sarah called a meeting in the briefing room. The crew gathered around the table, their faces tired but determined. We have traveled for 2 months, Sarah began. We have seen their victims. We have seen their power. But we have also seen something they do not want us to see. Evidence that they are not what they claim. Maybe the inscription is wrong, said Lieutenant Park. Maybe it is propaganda from enemies they defeated. Or maybe, Marcus said slowly, it is the truth they have been hiding for 10,000 years. Before anyone could respond, alarm screamed through the ship. Contact, shouted the tactical officer. Crithian patrol vessel. Distance, 5,000 kilometers. Closing fast, Sarah's heart hammered. This was it. First contact with the enemy. Battle stations. Raise shields. Prepare weapons. The crew moved like water, each person flowing to their position. The main screen flickered. A Crithian ship appeared. It was sleek, elegant, shaped like a blade made of darkness and stars. Sarah expected an attack. Expected threats. Expected death. But the Crithian ship did nothing. It simply flew past them. Close enough that they could see the symbols on its hull. Close enough that their sensors registered life signs inside. But it ignored the Defiance completely. As if they were not even there. Why did they not attack? Lieutenant Park asked, confusion clear in her voice. Marcus understood first. His face went pale. Because we are insects to them, he said bitterly. You do not stop to fight an ant when you are walking. You just step over it. Sarah felt anger flash through her chest, but also something else. Relief. If the Crithians saw them as beneath notice, it meant they could travel farther, learn more. They made a mistake, Sarah said quietly. They showed us we are not important enough to kill. Which means we are not important enough to watch closely. Dr. Yuki smiled. We are invisible, exactly. Maintain course. Stay quiet. Let them ignore us. We are close now. 3 more weeks to the Crithian border. Those 3 weeks felt like 3 years. Every shadow on the sensors made them jump. Every strange signal made them wonder if they had been discovered. But the Crithians continued to ignore them until they reached the border. Sarah stood on the bridge staring at the screen. Her mouth went dry. Hundreds of ships, thousands maybe. They filled space like a wall of metal and energy, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. Each one pulsing with power that made the Defiance look like a toy, and in the center, that impossible palace. The structure made of starlight and shadows. It hung in the void like a crown for a king of emptiness. We are receiving a transmission, Lieutenant Park said, her voice shaking. The main screen changed. A face appeared. It was humanoid, but wrong. Too symmetrical. Too perfect. Eyes like molten gold. Skin that seemed to shimmer between solid and liquid. The Crithian spoke. Its voice was beautiful and terrible. Humans, you have come far. Farther than we expected for such a primitive species. You show courage, or perhaps simply ignorance of your place in the order of things. Sarah stood tall, forcing her voice to stay steady. We come seeking truth. The Crithian smiled. It was not a kind expression. Truth? Very well. You wish to witness truth? You wish to understand why the galaxy bows before us? We shall show you. We shall take you to our home world. You will see our power. You will see our perfection. And then you will understand why resistance is not just futile. It is absurd. The transmission cut off. The massive ships began to move. They formed a corridor, path through the fleet, an invitation, or a trap. Marcus stood beside Sarah's chair. Captain? Sarah took a deep breath. They had come this far. Turned back now. Impossible. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. If they truly are divine, we will know. Take us in, Sarah ordered. Slowly, weapons ready. If this is a trap, we go down fighting. The Defiance moved forward, past ships that could destroy planets, past weapons that could erase existence. The crew was silent, each person lost in their own thoughts, their own fears. Sarah watched the palace grow larger on the screen. It was beautiful, hypnotic, like staring into the sun. "Captain," Dr. Yuki said quietly, "whatever we find there, humanity deserves to know. Promise me, no matter what happens to us, the truth gets home." Sarah nodded. "I promise." The palace filled the entire screen now. Doors opened in its side. Massive, ancient, carved with symbols that seemed to move when you looked at them. A voice boomed across all frequencies. "Humans, you have come to witness true power. Welcome to your judgment." The Defiance entered the palace. The doors closed behind them with a sound like thunder. Darkness swallowed the ship, the truth revealed previously. The Defiance journeyed through dead worlds and found ancient warnings. The Crithians are not what they seem. Sarah and her crew reached the Crithian homeworld and entered their massive palace. Now they faced the truth. Light returned slowly. The Defiance floated in a chamber so vast that Sarah could not see the walls. Above them, below them, all around them, the space seemed infinite, like being inside a star that had forgotten how to burn. "Sensors?" Sarah asked, her voice tight. Lieutenant Park's fingers danced across her console. "Reading. Nothing, Captain. No walls, no boundaries. Gravity is stable, but the source is unknown. It is like physics stopped working normally." "Magic," Marcus muttered. "They are showing us magic." "There is no such thing as magic," Dr. Yuki said. But her voice was uncertain. Even she, who believed only in science, felt doubt creeping into her mind. A platform rose beneath the Defiance. Solid, made of something that looked like crystal and metal mixed together. The ship settled onto it gently, as if invisible hands were guiding it down. "Captain," Lieutenant Park said, "we are receiving another transmission. They want us to exit the ship." Sarah's jaw tightened. Leaving the ship meant leaving their only protection, their only escape, but they had not come this far to hide. "Marcus, Dr. Yuki, Lieutenant Park, you are with me. The rest of you stay at stations. If anything happens, if we do not return in 2 hours, leave. Get back to Earth. Tell them everything." The four of them walked down the boarding ramp. The air outside was cool, clean. It tasted like morning after rain. The platform stretched ahead, leading to stairs that climbed toward a light in the distance. They walked. Each step echoed in the emptiness. Sarah's hand stayed near her sidearm. Not that a pistol would help against beings who could erase planets, but it made her feel less helpless. The stairs led to a hall, and the hall led to a throne room. It was beautiful in a way that hurt to see. Columns rose like frozen waterfalls. The ceiling showed stars, but they moved, dancing in patterns that seemed almost alive. Music played, though no instruments were visible. It sounded like the universe singing to itself. And at the center, on thrones that floated above the floor, sat the Crithian High Council, 7 of them. Each one perfect, each one terrible. Their skin shimmered with colors that had no names. Their eyes held the depth of black holes. They wore robes made of light itself. The one in the center stood. He was taller than the others. His presence filled the room like pressure before a storm. "I am Archon Velthar," he said. His voice was smooth like honey poured over broken glass. "Welcome, humans. You are the first of your kind to stand before us." "Be honored," Sarah stepped forward. Her legs wanted to shake. She did not let them. "We came seeking truth," she said. "You claim to be gods. You claim to have created the species of this galaxy. We want proof." Velthar smiled. It was a beautiful smile, and completely empty. "Proof? Look around you. This palace exists outside normal space. We built it with thought alone. We have ruled 47 star systems for 10,000 years. We ended the Great Wars. We brought order to chaos. We transformed primitive species into civilized societies. Is that not proof enough? Ending wars does not make you gods," Marcus said, his voice hard. "It makes you conquerors." "Conquerors take by force," another council member said. She was smaller than Velthar, with eyes like silver moons. "We offer choice. Bow and receive peace. Resist and receive silence." "That is not choice," Dr. Yuki said quietly. "That is a threat dressed in pretty words." Velthar's smile did not fade, but something flickered in his eyes. Annoyance? Or was it something else? "You are young," he said. "Your species has existed for what? A few 100,000 years? We have watched civilizations rise and fall for millennia. We have seen species destroy themselves with war, greed, hatred. We stopped that cycle. We brought eternal peace. A peace built on fear, Sarah said. Fear is a tool, Velthar replied calmly, like any other. The question is not whether we use fear. The question is whether it works. And look at the galaxy, Captain Chen. 47 systems. No wars, no suffering. No chaos, only order. Only perfection. As he spoke, Dr. Yuki's eyes wandered around the throne room. She was not listening to the words anymore. She was observing, analyzing. Her scientific mind noticed things others missed. The thrones were floating, but she could see faint lines in the air. Energy patterns. Technology, not magic. The music had no source, but she detected vibrations, speakers, hidden but real, and the Crithians themselves. She looked closer at Velthar. His perfect skin, his flawless features. But there, at the edge of his jaw, something was wrong. A tiny flicker, like a glitch in a hologram. Her heart began to race. Your technology is impressive, Dr. Yuki said casually. She pulled out a small scanner from her pocket. May I study it? For science? No need, Velthar said, waving his hand dismissively. You could not understand it. Your minds are too limited. Try me, Dr. Yuki said. She activated the scanner, pointed it at the nearest throne. Velthar's eyes widened. Stop that immediately, but it was too late. The scanner beeped. Data flooded across its small screen. Dr. Yuki's eyes went wide. Her hands began to shake. Oh my God, she whispered. What? Sarah demanded. What did you find? Dr. Yuki looked up at the Crithians, at their perfect faces, their godlike presence, and suddenly she saw the truth, the terrible, simple truth. This technology, she said slowly, it is not Crithian. The energy signature is wrong. The design is wrong. This was built by someone else. Something else. Silence. Velthar's voice boomed like thunder, but Dr. Yuki continued, her voice growing stronger. I have seen this signature before. In the ruins. In the dead worlds. This technology belongs to a species called the Architects. They went extinct 3,000 years ago. She looked directly at Velthar. You did not build any of this. You found it. You stole it. And you have been pretending it is yours for 10,000 years. The throne room went silent. The music stopped. The dancing stars froze. Velthar's face twisted. The perfection cracked. And beneath it, Sarah saw something she did not expect. Fear. You know nothing, Velthar hissed. I know enough, Dr. Yuki said. The Architects were the real gods of this galaxy. They created wonders, but they died out, and they left their technology behind. You found it. You learned to use it, and you used it to enslave everyone else. We brought order, another council member shouted. We saved species from destroying themselves. You enslaved them, Marcus said, stepping forward. You are not gods. You are thieves wearing someone else's crown. Velthar laughed, but it was not a confident laugh anymore. It was bitter, desperate. Does it matter? He said. Does it matter who built this technology? We have it. We control it. That makes us gods. Power is the only truth that matters, and we have all the power. Sarah felt anger burning in her chest. She thought of the dead worlds, the erased civilizations, the species forced to bow before lies. No, she said firmly. You have stolen power, but stolen things can be taken back. Marcus could not control himself anymore. The grief, the rage, the pain of losing his family, it all exploded. He lunged forward, grabbing a Crithian guard's weapon. The guard tried to fire. Nothing happened. The weapon did not work. Confusion rippled through the throne room. Marcus tried again. Still nothing. Other guards raised their weapons. They clicked uselessly in their hands. What is happening? A council member shouted. Dr. Yuki's scanner was beeping frantically. She looked at the data and her face went pale. The technology, she whispered. It is failing. The power readings are dropping. It is like it has an expiration date, and the date is today. Velthar's perfect face showed pure terror now. No, that is impossible. We have maintained it for thousands of years. Have you? Dr. Yuki said. Or has it just been running on its own? The Architects built things to last, but not forever. Nothing lasts forever. Sarah understood in that moment. Everything. The threats, the urgency, the fear. You knew, she said to Velthar. You knew this was coming. That is why you came to Earth now. That is why you are expanding so aggressively. You are trying to conquer as much as possible before your power runs out." Veltar said nothing, but his silence was answer enough. Sarah pulled out a transmitter from her belt, military grade, powerful enough to broadcast across star systems. "What are you doing?" Veltar demanded. "Telling the truth," Sarah said simply. She activated it. Her voice transmitted across every frequency, to every world the Crethians controlled, to Earth, to the entire galaxy. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of Earth. The Crethians are not gods. They are liars. Their technology is stolen from an extinct species called the Architects, and that technology is dying. Their power is fading. They are not divine. They are just people, ordinary people who found extraordinary tools." She paused, then added, "And if they can fall, they can be defeated. Rise up, fight back. You are not slaves. You never were." The transmission ended. Veltar stared at her. His perfect face was crumbling, literally crumbling. The holographic enhancements that made him look godlike were failing. Beneath them he was just a humanoid, old, tired, afraid. "You have destroyed us," he whispered. "No," Sarah said. "You destroyed yourselves the moment you built your empire on lies." Alarms screamed through the palace. Not from the Defiance, from everywhere, from the 47 systems, from the worlds that had bowed for centuries. Rebellions, uprisings, revolutions. The slaves were waking up, and the false gods were falling.